Well, hello again, folks, and welcome to my Shell Buzzy coffee break. And it's always something that comes up that is interesting. And interesting it is. I got my hands full. I've got a gentleman sitting beside me here. His name is Brad Jackson, and he's from Almega. And Almega, quite an interesting name there, Al. But tell me, what is it you do? I know what you do, but tell the folks what you do.
We do kitchen and bathroom renovations, aesthetic renovations, so resurfacing bathtubs, refacing cabinetry, and spray-on countertops.
So really you do the kind of the beginning of the end sort of thing. The end of the job, you come in and give all those, as you call it, aesthetics, character, and color.
Exactly.
Now, tell me about the business of ceramic tile, because there's a lot of ceramic tile in bathrooms. There's a lot of countertops in kitchens and bathrooms, as well as ceramic tile on back walls in kitchens and bathrooms. Is that a refinishing project that we would send our consumer to, Almega?
Yeah, if you have tile that has ugly grout lines or old style designs on it and you want it upgraded to a new design, whether it be a stone or a glossy white, we can spray coatings on that.
Now what about the grout line?
The grout line becomes sealed.
So it becomes sealed and what, the same color as the product that you're spraying?
Yep, exact same color. And on the backsplash or in the tile surrounds in showers, that's one of the benefits. You don't have to deal with sealing grout lines anymore.
Oh boy, did you hear that, folks? You don't have to seal grout lines anymore, be it on a backsplash where someone might have spilt some red wine and got up and what do you do with it? A lot of people will say, can I paint it? Well, sure, you can. Ever try painting a grout line? Well, it's not just that easy, believe me. But you know, when it comes to grout lines, it's very important to keep a straight line, but when Almega do it, then it's all the same texture and it's all the same finish, but you do see the texture of the tile.
You still see the lines of the grout, the texture. If there's texture, a lot of texture in the tile, then yeah, you'll see it in certain angles with the light.
Right.
But yeah, no, the grout lines are sealed. So.
That'd be a bit of a benefit, I would think.
Sometimes, yes.
Showing the character of the tile. Yeah. And especially the mosaics, the little tiles, and then the larger tiles today. But when it comes to grout, when it comes to tiles, when it comes to Formica, Arbroy, plastic laminates that you may have on countertops, those are things, in fact, I got a piece of it here in my hand, that this let me look, show you this here and have a good look at that. That particular product is sprayed on. So tell the folks what preparation would be required, Brad, when it comes to a countertop.
First thing we do is remove any kind of silicone that's up against the backsplash, because any kind of paint related materials won't stick to silicone, so that's all done thoroughly. Go through about 2 to 3 different cleaning processes, the last one being with a wet dry sandpaper. Solvent wipe, mask the area you don't want sprayed, like the cabinets and the floor and so on.
Right.
And then once this product goes on, it's there's an epoxy base coat that goes on that matches the stone fleck that you see in the sample.
Now, when you have a project like this in your client's home, how long is it going to take to do a countertop, for example? You mentioned silicone caulking, well, that would be between a backsplash and the countertop. And taking that all into consideration, masking out and getting ready to do the finish. How long is that going to take?
Most jobs are done in 1 day.
1 day?
Some of them go into the second day. If we spray the stone fleck, it's water-based. If we spray it on towards the end of the day, it has to dry before we can put the clear coat on. If it's a small job, I can force dry it with a leaf blower or fans. If it's a big job, I let it go to the next day and come back in 2 hours. We clear.
So really the homeowners out of the home, or at least out of the area, out of the cooking, you might say, preparation area for a day.
Yep.
Wow. And this here has a texture, folks. It really has a texture, and it's beautiful. It's not, you'd almost think it was Well, almost like a marble or a granite or any of the different finishes today. And the variety of colors, my God. Take a look at this here. And I'm going to show you up close, but there's the kind of the variety that you're looking at. I mean, there's colors in there that, well, I just don't think there'd be anything that you wouldn't be able to choose from. But here's one here. Let me put it up there for you, and I'll get it up real nice and close and turn it a little bit there so you can see the texture of it. But countertops, that's only a small component of the business that you do. Because you get countertops in, well, you get kitchens and bathrooms and laundry rooms. But what about bathtubs?
Bathtubs is another process we use. 99% of the time we reglaze them white. So it looks like a new bathtub. So if we have the old colors like the greens or the avocados, the yellows, they go white, or even people that have worn out white tubs, we can reglaze those and make them look brand new again.
And the clawfoots?
Oh yeah, same thing.
Now what about the clawfoot? This has kind of hit me as a creative thing. That what about if you're doing a clawfoot? Could you do the outside of the clawfoot in a color and then have white on the inside?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, so you can really get into the decor.
Yeah.
Wow. And now ceramic tile, any limitations on ceramic tile being coated or refinished in a shower, for an example, or in a I say a kitchen backsplash, or even a countertop, because there's a lot of homes today still around that have ceramic tile countertops. Then they got that wearability and the opportunity for a homeowner to say, hey, rather than doing a marble or a granite top, I just like what I have and have it coated.
Yeah, it's definitely an option. And again, once again, is that the grout lines become sealed in the countertop as well, so easier cleaning.
And what about comparison? Comparison in, because if you're going to even put new laminate Formica or Arborite countertops, you still got a lot of disruption with the backsplash and some of the other areas that might be enclosed, like you recall, in fact, I was in a home just the other day that had the garage in the corner, you know, where you have the roll-up door and keep all your toasters and what have you back in there. The toaster garage, I think we called it. But if you don't have to remove that to put your finish on the top, that saves a lot of time.
Well, yeah, we don't have to remove it, but we do mask, put the door up, they mask around, and we can spray right inside the garage.
Wow. So it's a matter of not having to do a lot of the disruption that's going to take away from the structure of a cabinet or a set of cabinets. You're going to be able to go work around it through masking and preparation before you spray.
Exactly.
So really and truly, you could, in one day, come home to a brand new kitchen.
Yep, pretty much.
Including doors?
Yep. Well, no, doors, the countertops.
Yeah, but the doors, you would do the doors.
Yeah, that would be another day.
Another. Well, that's what I really meant. You come home one day and everything would be finished up. I didn't want to think that you're going to completely plant a seed and all of a sudden everything can take place. But the countertops, as far as the refinishing and the doors, replacing, and all that becomes part and parcel of a job that could be 2 or 3 days once all the measurement and finishing is complete. But it's finished.
Yeah.
No waiting on this or waiting on that. It's your schedule and away you go.
That's what we do.
What does it normally take time-wise?
Time-wise? For
from the time that you come out and sit back and talk to the lady of the home along with her husband, and they give you the go-ahead and pay your deposits and away you go.
Countertops normally take, depending on our schedule when we're booked, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to get in there. Doors, when we're ordering custom doors, they could take 2 to 3 weeks to get from the manufacturer, so that would mean our job would happen 3 to 4 weeks down the road for that.
Right. Well, that's pretty easy go when you consider the fact that when the doors are finished, then it's a matter of coming back and your day is putting doors and drawer fronts on and everything's finished.
And it's done that day.
Now what happens if Joe the hubby is a handy guy, and he could do the cabinetry, or the boxes, I guess we could call them.
Well, the full process involves us veneering the boxes to match the new color and door you chose. But if they're going with a white or a solid color that theoretically could be paint tinted to match, then yeah, a lot of my customers, I give them the option of painting the boxes to match the new door, and that will save them money in the end.
So you're not opposed to the homeowner helping out doing some of the painting if it is an actual paint job that they could do?
I've always told people I'm happy to get as much or as little of their business as they're willing to give me.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. Put that into a slogan.
Yeah.
Now, what about other things that are relevant in and around the home? For example, chips and that sort of thing, like a chip on a one of the old white porcelain sinks, for example. Do you ever get involved in repairing those?
Yeah, when we do bathtub reglazing, we do chips, we fill it with a fiberglass reinforced body filler, and airbrush the coating and do a color or do a full reglazing of that with our spray system. When we're doing chip repairs, it's the exact same process, except we use an airbrush to airbrush and do a color match in that area.
Now, what about a kitchen sink? How much abuse will a finish take?
Kitchen sinks, bathtubs you're in with bare feet. Kitchen sinks, you got knives and forks and sharp objects.
Exactly.
So a lot of times, we do a lot of them, and I let the customer know up front that this is an issue with that. There are mats that you could put down that you would want to remove. But if they have an option of replacing it with a stainless steel one, that's usually my recommendation.
Right.
And I do this for a living, so I let them know up front what I would do. Yeah,
well, and that's good advice.
Yeah.
Because obviously being in the business and being aware of what sort of abuse, if I can use that term, knives and forks being tossed sometimes into sinks, you got to realize that you are dealing with a painted finish. You wouldn't toss, for example, a piece of metal, be it a file or whatever, on the hood of your car, so it's going to damage. It is a painted finish, and painted finish. But on the other hand, if someone is very careful, and a lot of homeowners today, my goodness, you go into their home, you wouldn't think anybody lived in it. It's so neat and tidy. So cleaning bathtubs, cleaning showers, cleaning sinks, using non-abrasive cleaners, no problem whatsoever.
Oh, you get many years out of it.
Now, you obviously get involved with hotels and apartments and, stratas and all the rest of it. Is that something that you would have as a kind of a yearly? Normally, we would come in whatever time of the year to do any repairs in and around a condominium or a townhouse development. Do you have that sort of service as well? Yeah,
we do that all the time. Not any specific time of year. They just call when needed, as needed basis.
And it's you go out and give them a price and make the arrangements, and away you go.
Yep.
So what easier business could you ask than that, folks, when it comes to doing that Almega finish, and having a guy like Brad available to you through our referral network. That's the AskShell.com network, and we call it Shell Buzzy's Coffee Break, to bring these personalities right to your computer monitor and show you what they can do. And as we've been talking here, there's been pictures that they've been looking at, before and after projects that you've been doing over the last couple of years, I'm sure, in this particular case. But folks, from Whistler to Hope and all in between, Brad services that area. So if you've got any of those items, ream some of them off to us, that things that you could see homeowners requiring your service, Brad.
Bathtubs in rough shape, bathtubs in great shape that need a new color change. Countertops, people want to update. I've had customers of mine that have called and hired me over the years to redo the counters I did 5 years ago because they want to change the color, and there was nothing wrong with the original. Cabinet upgrades, if they're not changing the layout of their kitchen and they want to get a new kitchen but save a lot of money. we can put new doors, new veneers, and make it look like a brand new kitchen without total tear out.
Now, can I throw a left hook at you? What sort of comparison would you put out there saving-wise to Joe Consumer in the event of they were doing backsplash, new doors, and countertops refinished? What sort of savings are they looking at on, would you say, in the average?
Usually we come in about half of the cost of pretty much, except bathtubs were a lot less than half of a full bathtub renovation, but usually most of the stuff is about half the cost.
So therefore, there you have it. You could do an entire kitchen refinishing, resurfacing, and new doors for half of what the normal price would of replacement. Well, that's quite a saving. That is good, because you hear some astronomical replacement costs out there, and we are in that business when it comes to kitchens. So when it comes to repairing, when it comes to replacing, when it comes to refinishing, Almega, we have it all here for you, folks. We call it AskShell.com, or you may just go to Shell Busey, House Smart Home Services, and that's what we're all about. And I'd like to thank you, Brad, for coming in and having a discussion with me. I made some notes, but I didn't really need them. But Almega is an organization that we really are pleased. You've been with us a long time, which we love that sort of credibility and qualification. So thank you for coming in and giving us the opportunity to present it to the consumer that really comes to good, better, best, why worry about the rest? And that's our referral network. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You betcha. And folks, as usual, when it comes to any work that you require in and around your home, AskShell.com. You can become a member of our club, which is free. And we send you out a newsletter every week. We call it the podcast. And then we have also the coffee break. And the coffee break is once a week. And sometimes even upgrading towards the end of the month, we'll send out 2 of them. But we don't send a lot of junk, because junk is for the dump. And that's not what we have around here. So until next time, the coffee break, or you're on the podcast, listening and now viewing, love you all. Bye-bye for now.